you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And there's like a whole window full of puppies, but he's always like going up to
He
the
like just
cage
like
with
this
the
like
big-
rugged little rugged fat like big-headed Bupkiss. His name's Buttkiss, which is great. That's a good name for that dog.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Comics!
thanks for listening to our Rocky podcast. Next week, Rocky, the first 4 minutes of Rocky 2.
I mean, I'll watch Rocky too.
Yeah, we'll go through all of them. There's gonna be a robot
Between
scene.
Wednesdays, just trying to get by to the next fix. Living between Wednesdays, prefer the comics over the Netflix. Living between Wednesdays.
I'm not down.
No, that Rocky 4 is a robot. But anyway,
It's getting better than Megalo boxing.
yeah. Comics this week. Look at this. No fucking Marvel or DC.
Ta-da!
What independent publishers have better storytelling than serialized superhero comics generally? No way.
Wow.
That was very salty and subjective, but I mean it.
Who wants to go first?
Jason,
Oh, I get
what did you like this week?
I like Miskatonic. It is USA DC post the G-Men, but pre-FBI. So it's just the Bureau of Investigation right now, and they're still kind of nebulous. They're trying to figure themselves out, but they know it's about federalized investigation.
But no women.
But no women. It's a masculine thing.
There is a woman, but don't. But maybe do. But maybe don't.
And Herbert Hoover's kind of like, he doesn't hate her, probably because he cross-dresses. I don't know if that's going to come up, but this feels
Hope
a bit...
so.
But that's true.
It better.
Yeah. I think that might pop up. I wouldn't be surprised if Herbert Hoover cross-dressing at night is one of the reasons why Edgar Hoover is keen on having this and detective on board. But anyway, a guy gets a package in the mail. He picks it up. It explodes. It's a big deal. Put this lady in the case. I forget her name already.
Agent Keller.
Agent Keller.
Not Miss Keller.
Not Miss Keller. Agent Keller. Yeah. It's like a 1930s DC-esque Lovecraftian era.
It is definitely like they name drop so many Lovecraft IPs.
Yes,
like it is solely Lovecraft.
There's a ton of stuff going on.
Like Miskatonic University is the university in all the
Arkham,
Lovecraft stories. And
all that
Arkham and
jazz.
Innsmouth
Eldritch,
of the fish
yeah.
people of Innsmouth.
Yeah.
Very famous story.
Yeah, I think I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing series or this is just a little sliver, but right now we're in like the Dagon world of fish people.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's pretty down and dirty. It's pretty procedural, which I enjoy. The thing I liked about it the most is it is very ingrained in the times. Remember that book Abbott that came out about that investigative journalist Abbott?
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all because
I remember that. Yeah.
because it takes place in like 1970s Chicago, but it has nothing to do with 1970s Chicago. You pick up those people and put them in any timeline and they'll make sense. But like, there's a very specific I don't know why they picked that time other than the look cool, especially for like a female journalist who's African American in Chicago at that time. Must have other stuff going on.
I hadn't thought of that. I really like that because I've heard the whole like this could be happening elsewhere in regards of like whether you're deciding if a story should be a movie or a comic or a book. It's like what in the story? Why is it a novel? Why is it a movie? What about it makes it need to be that? But I hadn't thought of applying it to literally the period in which you set a story. Like what about the story makes it need to be in the 30s or in the 70s or in Chicago, and why does it need to be there and it can't just be somewhere else? I like that.
And that was a very like it was just a very like contemporary thing that happened. A bad guy was doing an experiment because too many people were watching TV at the time. In that Abbott argument, it's just phones but not TV instead. So like, but this one's very like ingrained in the times and how the patriarchy is working right now. She has to kind of battle that every page, and I think that's way more interesting. And it's kind of cool to see a female-led Lovecraft thing. I know Lovecraft was definitely misogynistic, and he was definitely racist. It comes up all the time, but like
super
I like
agoraphobic in all ways, shapes,
yeah,
and
he's
forms.
every kind of negative aspect you could have for a human. Lovecraft had them, but he had a way with words and prose and ideas. So like.
Well, as unfortunate as his agoraphobia was and how it led to many very racist and sexist things that cannot be defended, the overall like fear of the outside and fear of the unknown, like is Like it's
a resonant paranoia.
yeah, that I've no doubt it led to some of his writing being the way it was, which is unfortunate.
But I also like the fact that like people are taking that back now. Like Victor LaValle with Ballad of Black Tom and all that stuff. Like they're taking the springboard that he launched, and they're kind of like incorporating it in a more positive, progressive light, and that's cool. But politics aside, this is just a really good book. This is really just a really good number one. It sets it up, it knocks it out. There's a nice last page turn, and I will read number 2. Good job, Aftershock and Mark Sable and Giorgio Pontarelli. I'm pretty sure you invented the. No, that's not. You did not invent the Moog single letter. Sorry, no, you're an artist. Good job. But Chris, what do you got? You got 2 things in the middle here. I'm not sure which one you're gonna pick.
I'm not sure either.
What?
I know. So I love me a good Hellboy one-shot. This week we got Hellboy and the BPRD.
Is she
a
hanging out
one-shot.
with the lady from Adventureland that looks like her?
It's the same artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this comic. Is this character in the Hellboy movie? Either any of the Hellboy movies? Is this BPRD agent someone?
No.
Is that a Liz or whatever her face is?
No. The Seven Wives Club is a spooky ghost Hellboy one-shot. So a girl kills her boyfriend in a spooky house, but did she do it, or was she controlled, or was she tricked by the ghost of a guy who had 7 wives? We don't know, so we go there, and of course, spooky ghost.
You know what I want to see in a Hellboy one-shot? I want to see Hellboy, and pretty much in this order, and this one hits all those. I want to see Hellboy showing his heart of gold, comforting the victim. I want to see him going into a spooky place. I want to see him punch some ghosts or specters, and then I want to see him complain about it.
Yeah.
And then he says, crap, at least once somewhere.
Yeah.
And that
And
pretty
this ticked all our
much... tick, tick,
boxes.
tick, tick. Actually, I'm not sure if he said crap, but you know what? I want to see that. I want to see that heart of gold.
Oh, I think
I
there's
want to see him scrapping,
I-
and then I want to see him being like, "Oh man, ghosts, am I right?"
I
and
think
that did
there
all
was
those things.
and I hate it when this happens. So
Yeah,
like,
I'll take that.
yeah. So some sort of equivalent of crap.
How was the art?
Really, really good. It's not the stylized Mignola stuff that we love,
It never will be.
but yeah, no, and it doesn't try to be.
Yeah,
So I do give it credit for that.
Oh,
and
that's
it
great.
does use the paneling really creatively and a lot of good automatopoeia, which you have to have in a Hellboy comic. And the ghost stuff looks definitively different than like the human stuff, so there's no confusion there. It's just stylized enough in the fight scenes to work kinetically. And then Hellboy's like, oh yeah, I hate ghosts. You never know what's going on. Always give me like a mummy or a werewolf, because at least you know.
yeah.
It's great.
You know who I would love to see do the interiors for Hellboy one shot? Troy Nixie.
That is the closest to
That's
the
fair.
Ron Perlman Hellboy I've seen in the book.
Yeah.
Because Troy
Yeah,
Nixie, he
looks
did a
really good.
Lobster Johnson one shot that I went bin diving for a while ago. I picked up
Yeah.
like a Christmas one,
Yeah.
and it's terrific. Like, and I would love to see. I love his stuff. I would love to see, because his Hellboy would be like super stylized. His proportions are all wonky, like Trent Moore's, right? I would love to see that.
I wouldn't even hate a Trad Moore Hellboy. That'd be weird.
Oh my gosh.
What a trip.
How many penises would he work into that silhouette?
That's fine.
Would you want to do a quick shout out to Terminal?
Yeah. I had a good time with this other comic. This is a Mad Cave comic, so super independent, small publisher.
But the art does not look bad.
At first I thought it said Mad Cats, and I was like those third-party GameCube controllers?
Yeah.
Where's the turbo button?
So Terminal Punks is about a punk band stuck in an airport terminal when a plane crashes filled with exotic animals that have been transformed into monsters because of a chemical gas.
It's yeah. I've never.
That's the pitch.
I have never. I like sitting down. Like if I had to write a log line for this, I don't think there's anything like it.
Because yeah, the description of the plot doesn't really denote the tone.
Yeah.
It's a very memey tone.
Yeah.
Less memey than Ludocrats, but
It's a little.
It's kind of got like a more Goonies vibe if the kids were older and and more urban.
It leans a little too sardonic sometimes, but they didn't take away from how fucking bananas it is. I enjoyed that.
it wins.
It's fun. It's cartoony. It's whimsical. It feels like an episode of like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It wins my out of context panel of the week, which is the speech bubble. Only a patriarchal piece of shit would call themselves God.
Yeah, and that was someone saying, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god."
Oh, were they? I didn't even see that. So I thought he was literally just like they're all ranting about why they're scared. This guy's just like patriarchy.
I don't even believe in God. Oh my god.
Okay, that's
That's the lead up to that joke, which kind of
still great, still very funny.
Yeah. This comic is a delight. It's really, really fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Oh, definitely not.
It's colorful. It's well rendered. I know exactly what's going on. All the characters have unique silhouettes, so you don't get lost in it. It's going to be a pretty short little run, and I'm excited for it. Escape from the airport terminal that's crashed by monsters that are actually exotic animals that have been gassed.
Who are all named after vape flavors.
Yeah, because
it's very funny.
I think the main antagonist is like a radioactive orangutan, because
Yes.
that billionaire Therampelfist.
He talks a lot about orangutans and orangutan milk.
Yeah.
There's some really well done running gags in it for a single
Yeah, for a
issue.
single. It felt long too. I remember reading like, is this a double issue?
It goes on?
Yeah. It's good.
You know what else was a kind of long single issue that surprised me with how good it was?
Is it your pick of the week?
It is Scarenthood. This book made me think of my relationship with my kids. No, I do want to go home.
See,
I do want to go home and pet my cat though.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna leave it at I do want to go home. I'm like, you don't have to stay.
so the people in this book don't know where their kids are either.
Hopefully these parents in the book like kids more than I do. Scarenthood is about main characters are some parents that are all parents with like kindergartners in the same class. Sort of like main character dad has a little girl daughter. Mom is out of the picture. It's brought up a lot, but it is sort of purposely hid. He's like, when's mommy coming home? And he's like, oh, we're gonna see mommy soon. Can we call mommy tonight? And he doesn't really want to answer that. So it's very. He says work things. Is she at work? Is she in prison? Is she in a hospital? Like I have no guesses. But anyway, so I can't essentially single
I thought
dead.
maybe she's dead.
Maybe. It seems like I think that's a strong possibility. But I think they did a good job of not making it seem like it has to be any single one of those things.
Yeah.
But so he got a few parents, sort of all sort of in the mind space of like, oh, kindergartners are finally at school, so like I can be a human again. One of them is like believes in all the internet conspiracy things, and he's ranting about like, oh, and internet conspiracies and voter election fraud and stuff, and nobody's really buying that. But anyways, I'm just ranting all over.
So it's fiction then.
You know what I like the most about this book? You know when Garth Ennis writes his characters with Scottish accents, and it's impossible to read,
spelled,
and it's impossible to decipher. I appreciate the work that goes into that, but the people in this are phonetically spelled out with accents, but I can actually tell what they're saying.
Nice.
But yeah, basically one parent is like, oh yeah, this school is haunted, spooky things happened here, and the other parent's like, you're full of shit. And basically it is proven to be true. One of the most skeptical main character dad, has a very spooky experience at the school. And then it's all sort of the mentality of now like, okay, well we can't go to the cops, they're not going to believe us. Like we're going to have to solve this spooky school crime by ourselves, like in between taking care of our kindergartners. And I don't know, if somebody described that plot to me, I'd be like, that sounds fine. But it's just really well written. The parents all have very distinctive voices. I like the relationships develop in this a bit. Like I said, one dad's very like mouthing off conspiracies to the other parents, and the other kid guy literally says, oh, fuck off. He's like, oh, excuse me? I'm like, oh, well, that stuff sounds kind of baseless. And then he comes around because he experiences stuff, and they apologize, and they make up. Like, I just feel like the conversations and relationships between these parents with the camaraderie of like, oh, I see you every day when I pick my kid up at school, but beyond that, I don't know who you are. Let's talk about this haunted school. I just feel like all of the dialogue just came across super genuine.
only happens 52 times a year.
Wednesday to Wednesday, I be going hard from like Wednesday to Wednesday.
Yeah, hey, pal, you got that one where Superman goes to Supertown? Yeah, I got that when it come out. I like the fourth world.